The following video is proudly presented by Mighty Ox Trading. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mighty Ox Trading. Of course, I'm the Mighty Ox, and today we are going to be discussing Apex's rule changes, and most specifically, Apex's 30% rule change, a detailed explanation. So a lot of people have seemed to be confused about it, how it works. Someone even asked me to explain it like they're 5. I then told them to go to their room and not worry about trading for another 13 years. But anyway, we're going to discuss it today. And all I ask for this detailed video is that you pour that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't. Also click that little bell icon so you can be notified whenever I put out a new video. I also go live with live streams. You can be notified for that too. Anyway, let's get started. So, as many of you know, Apex put out rule changes the other day. For those of you that didn't sit through the 4-hour video, we'll quickly go through those rule changes, and then we'll discuss the 30% rule, which has been an issue for some people. We'll talk about how it works and the reason for it and why you should not consider it a bad thing. So, first of all, here are all the funding changes. Quickly, we'll go through them. The payout changes, payout windows are gone. You can request after 8 trading days. 5 of the 8 trading days must be $50 or more in profit, and that's from any size account. You can flip the other 3 days. Now, quick thought on this. I don't understand why they just didn't go to 5 days. Now, unless that would overwhelm their payout system or whatever, why not just make it 5 days? Why even make it there be a reason for flipping? Anyway, but I digress. You need to be over the safety net. So they brought back the safety net, which I know some people don't like, but got to give and take a little bit in this industry, which is the value of your drawdown plus $100. Payouts approved and paid 48 hours. So hopefully to your bank account within 3 to 5 business days. A lot of people are reporting that even quicker. I know I got my affiliate payment within 1 day in my bank account. Rule changes. DCA is okay again. Scaling rule. 1/2 of the max contracts until you're above your safety net. Then you get the full amount. And I believe this is controlled where you don't need to worry about getting, failing. It won't allow you to go over your max contracts. No more than 5-to-1 R to R. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure how many people really put on a $500 stop loss to make $100. I don't know how many people can be successful at that, but anyway, they don't want to see you, doing that more than that. 5-to-1's fine, no more than that. You do not have to place a stop loss or target orders. You can use mental stops, mental targets, whatever, as long as you stay within the other risk parameters. And the 30% per trade loss limit, which is what we're going to talk about. So, I did put an example here, but I forgot to take that back off. So then I redid the slides and just to talk more about this 30% rule. So the 30% rule, this is so people can DCA. This is so people can, trade with other strategies or whatever. They just don't want you to risk too much on any one trade. The unrealized value of your trade cannot go more than 30% against your starting daily drawdown. We'll get into some examples of that here shortly. It's per trade and not per day. So it's not a daily loss limit. It's basically a per trade loss limit. And it doesn't move throughout the day. So if you make $1,000, you lose $1,000. It doesn't change. It's based on the value of your account at the start of the day, trading day, 6 p.m. start. It does not fail your account. It does not stop you from trading. In other words, if you go down in below 30%, it's not going to close out your trade. You're not going to get a failure notice. You're not going to lose your PA. You're not going to, be locked out. Nothing like that. You won't even get notified. So you got to keep track of it yourself. But anyway, an occasional breach, there's no repercussions. Apex understands that sometimes things happen, especially if you're not using a hard stop, if you're using a mental stop and all of a sudden the market flushes against you. You're not going to be penalized if it happens occasionally. No penalties at all. Now, if you're a habitual abuser of this rule, where you're constantly going red by more than 30% of your available drawdown, then you'll be put on probation. You'll have to trade 10 days with proper risk management, and then you can easy for me to say, request payout again. That's all it is. So, it's just basically delaying your payout. You're not going to be, you're not going to lose the amount in your account. You're not going to be, you know, sent packing, nothing like that. You just got to show proper risk management for 10 trading days, and you can request your payout again, and all's good again in the world. So now here's what people have gotten a little frustrated, flustered, is figuring out what the 30% limit is. If you're under the safety net of your account, it's 30% of the original drawdown. So in a 50K account, 30% of 2,500, which is $750. If you're over the safety net, then it's 30% of your trading day's starting balance. Again, the trading day's starting balance at 6 p.m. Eastern Time when the market reopens after that 1 hour break, or Sunday nights after the weekend break. It does not change throughout the trading day, so it doesn't trail you. Some people worry that, if it goes up, if you go up by 750 and it comes back to break even, is that going to be considered a breach? No, it does not trail. It's just X amount in the red, 30% in the red or more is a breach of the rule. So let's look at the examples. On a 50K account, if you're under the safety net, it's 30% of the starting drawdown of the account. So 2,500 times 0.3, which is $750. Any trade that goes red by $750 or more is a violation, even if that trade ends up green. So if you go down $755 and then it comes all the way back and you end up closing it for $700, I don't know, whatever, it's still be considered a breach of the rule because you went 30% in the red. This is again per trade. If you're over the safety net, it's 30% of the profit on the account. So let's do the math here. They said there'll be no math, but there's math. So let's say you start your trading day with your balances at 5,400. Sorry, 54,000. So that's $4,000 in profit. 4,000 times 0.3 is $1,200. So that means no open trade, unrealized, can go red by $1,200 or more. And again, this amount stays the same. I don't care if you make $10,000 that day and you on your next trade, that's that day, you still can't lose more than $1,200. And also, if you lose $1,200 that day, as long as you haven't hit your overall drawdown, you can still go red by $1,200 that day in each trade, each and every trade. And if you want, if you want to go 25% down, you can do that as much as you want. Whatever. Doesn't matter how much you make or lose during the day. Just don't go 30% red from your starting daily balance. So on a 300K account, we'll do the math there. 30% of the starting DD, which is $7,500 if you're under the safety net, $2,250. So any trade that goes red by $2,250 on a 300K account, if you're not over the safety net, would be a violation. So it's real easy math to do. Under the safety net, figure out what the starting drawdown is of that account times 0.3. If you're over, then whatever your profit is times 0.3. If anyone seriously has trouble with this, because I understand that math, I'm not being facetious here, I'm not being sarcastic. If anyone seriously has trouble figuring out where their limit should be for the day, for each trade, send me a message on Discord, email, whatever, and as soon as I see it, I'll help you out. Because I understand math for some people is a little tricky, and this is kind of new, and it takes some getting used to. But that's basically, the explanation. Not didn't take an hour to do, but I do want to talk about the rule itself, why it's been put in place. I'm hearing a lot of people complain about this. This is 30% of your account that you're allowed on every trade. 30%. Do you know how many successful traders out there risk 30% of their account, 30% of their available drawdown on every trade? My guess is it's very, very few. Um, People are upset because they're not allowed to, you know, risk this much, and then they wonder why they're blowing their accounts. Here's the thing. How many of you have had losing streaks of 4 trades in a row? If you're risking 30% of your account on every trade, 25% of your account on every trade, which is totally 100% acceptable now, you blow your account after 4 trades. We shouldn't be risking more than 10% of our accounts on any one trade, in my opinion. And it's not just my opinion. You know, don't take my word for it. I'm not a consistent trader. I admit that. Ask Rod Castelli, who's been trading futures now since the late 90s. So 25 years? More than 25 years. Who says you should only ever trade micros in prop accounts? Or you can ask Matt from Teristius Trading, the only trading coach and educator that is recommended by Mighty Ox Trading. I asked him on Discord the other day, should any trader ever be risking 30% of their drawdown? His answer was, short answer, no. Long answer, hell no. That was his answer. You can come see it on Discord. It's there in black and white, or whatever text color you've made your Discord. This rule is not a punishment. This rule is to help with risk management. This rule is to make sure I should say, makes it harder to blow your funded account. Makes it easier for you to keep your funded account. Again, it shouldn't even be, I mean, honestly, if I ran a prop, I would make it 10%. And yeah, that can be hard on a smaller account. Then you should be trading micros. I only trade one mini, and if my drawdown starts getting tight, I go down to micros. Not telling you should trade like me. Nobody should trade like me. But if you're complaining about this rule, I want you to really look at your trading and see how many times you've lost 4 trades in a row, because that's a blown account following the letter of this rule. So, a lot of people are up in arms about this rule, but I think it's a good rule for both the traders and for Apex, both sides. A lot of people blame Apex for helping to bring the gambler mentality into the futures prop firms. And I'll put some of the blame on Apex, and I've told John Skelton that right out. And he knows that, or he knows my feelings on it. But now we're going to see that reined in some, and I think you're going to see it reined in on a lot of other prop firms too. Because the regulation that you've been hearing about possibly coming in from the CME, one of the big rumblings of that is that CME is going to require a certain amount of traders, or either a certain amount of traders or a certain amount of income being generated by the prop coming from live traders, live on live accounts, not sim accounts. So that means these companies are going to be looking for people that can be put live. And you should want to be put live, because that live market trading is showing you're one of the best, and you can do it. So, that's what these companies are going to start looking for. Top Step talked about making changes here soon with a more focus on live. You're seeing My Funded Futures more focused on live. You're seeing Apex now more focused on live. And it's just the way the industry is going to go. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the 30%. I hope my explanation helps people understand it. Again, if you have any questions about it, feel free. Leave me in a comment below. Send me an email. Ask me on Discord. Pop into one of my live streams, whatever. I make myself very accessible. I only sleep like 5 hours a day. So other than that, I'm always on. There you go. I hope that helps. And I did it in like 15 minutes. It wasn't 4 hours. So that was a plus, right? Anywho, that's it for today. Reminder, join us on our Instagram. Join us on our Twitter. Join me on my live streams. And our Discord is one of the most happening places on earth. Or at least in the future's prop space. Till next time. See ya.